Leadership is not a title, it's clarity of purpose in motion. Write that down. Say it with me. Leadership moves when purpose moves. Not when you get a parking spot, not when they print your name on the door, but when the reason you were born starts working in the room. Where there is no vision, the people perish. Proverbs 29:18 declares. They cast off restraint, they wander. But where there is purpose, there is restraint, there is direction, there is movement right in the meeting at 9 a.m. Tell your neighbor, my purpose will not wait for my promotion. Here is the trap we must expose. Positions produce politics, purpose produces influence. Write that down. When you chase positions, you inherit boardroom battles, invisible turf lines, and the anxiety of defending a chair you didn't even design. But when you carry purpose, you bring solutions. And solutions silence politics. Every problem is a business, and every business is a solution. The world pays attention to whoever solves its pain, not whoever wears its pin. Are you hearing me? Stop begging for a title and bring your reason. Bring it into the room. Let me define this with precision. Leadership is the capacity to influence others through inspiration, not manipulation generated by a passion, motivated by a vision, birthed by a conviction, produced by a sense of purpose. Now turn that sentence upside down and begin at the bottom. Purpose produces conviction. Conviction births vision. Vision fuels passion. Passion generates inspiration. Inspiration creates influence, and influence is leadership. That works in any seat at the table. The intern can lead. The new hire can lead. The consultant on a day rate can lead. Why? Because inspiration, rooted in purpose, has no respect for titles. I promise you something practical today. 3 in-meeting moves that will shift you from follower to influencer before the next agenda item. Not theory moves, but hear the foundation first. Leadership begins the moment your purpose moves in the meeting. A young analyst, no rank, no budget, brought a 2-sentence insight on a 1-page dashboard that exposed the leak in a campaign. The room turned. The director changed course. Influence without a title. Why? Purpose in motion. God gave us an operating system for this. Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion. Genesis 1:28. That's not Sunday poetry, that's Monday policy. Be fruitful, produce something, multiply, make it reproducible, replenish, build, distribution, subdue, set the standard. Have dominion, own the category. We will walk this path together from purpose to fruit to systems, so your contribution doesn't just speak, it scales. Say it. If I don't deploy myself, I'll be employed by someone who did. Today, we deploy. Today, your purpose gets up from your heart, takes a seat in the meeting, and begins to lead. Turn it upside down. Leadership is the capacity to influence others through inspiration, not manipulation, generated by a passion, motivated by a vision, birthed by a conviction, produced by a sense of purpose. Now, begin where God begins. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. I ordained thee. Jeremiah 1-5. Purpose produces conviction. Conviction births vision. Vision fuels passion. Passion generates inspiration. Inspiration creates influence. Influence is a byproduct. Purpose is the producer. Write that down. Say it. In the workplace, purpose is not a cloud or a quote. It is the specific problem you exist to solve for this team right now. That's it. The counsel in your heart is deep water, but understanding draws it out. Proverbs 20-5. What leak do you stop? What confusion do you clarify? What delay do you remove? Name it and the meeting will feel your presence before it hears your name. Conviction sets your spine. Vision sets your sights. Passion sets your fire. Inspiration sets the room. Influence sets the course. Micro exercise right now. Craft a 9-word purpose line. Open your mouth and declare it. Start with, I exist here too, and finish with 7 more words. Count them. Say it out loud. For example, I exist here to translate data into decisive action. Or I exist here to reduce friction and multiply clarity. Again, your turn. Speak it until it fits like a glove. That sentence is your staff. It will part meetings like the Red Sea. It will edit your calendar, sharpen your questions, and lift your contribution from commentary to creation. Watch what happens when purpose moves. Conviction will make you steady when politics swirl. Vision will let you see beyond this quarter into the future we can build. Passion will make you early, excellent, and resilient. Inspiration will feed trust, not starve it. And then influence arrives. Not because you campaigned, but because you contributed fruit. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus unto good works, that we should walk in them. Ephesians 2:10. Walk in them at 9 a.m. Stop seeking a title. Start supplying a reason. Say it. Purpose first. Influence follows. Say it again. Influence is a byproduct. Purpose is the producer. Titles impress rooms. Reasons sustain missions. Joseph did not apply to be prime minister. He solved the famine and Pharaoh seated him. Genesis 41. Daniel did not campaign for chief advisor. He read what the king could not, and influence followed. Daniel 5. This is your pattern. Purpose, then conviction, then vision, then passion, then inspiration, then influence. Say it until it reorders your day. Write 9 words. Place them at your desk and bring them to next meeting as fruit. Listen carefully. God didn't give us confusion. He gave us a code. And God blessed them. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion. Genesis 1:28. That's not a hymn. That's your handbook. That is the kingdom operating system for Monday morning at your desk. Write this down. Be fruitful. Produce something. Multiply. Replicate it. Replenish. Distribute it. Subdue. Shape the environment. Have dominion. Be the go-to. This is how brands run the world. This is how you run your row even without a title. Be fruitful. The world doesn't eat seeds. The world eats fruit. Ideas are seeds. Artifacts are fruit. Today, put something edible on the table. A 1-page decision brief. A checklist that prevents a common error. A dashboard that reveals the leak. A before and after mock-up that clarifies the win. By their fruits ye shall know them. Matthew 7:20. Not by their feelings, not by their memos, by their fruits. Fruit precedes followers. People follow those who feed them. Say it out loud. Fruit precedes followers. Again, fruit precedes followers. Multiply. If it only works when you are in the room, it is not leadership, it's labor. Turn your fruit into a template so others can produce the same result without you. Document the steps. Name the fields. Time box the actions. Show 2 examples, bad and good, so clarity multiplies. Leaders think replication. Write that down. Template equals multiplication. Replenish. Distribution is how value feeds the house. Don't hide your template in a private folder like a talent hoarder. Publish it in the shared drive. Pin it in the team channel. Record a 4-minute walkthrough. Offer a 5-seat pilot. Schedule a 10-minute how to use this in the staff meeting. Replenish means keep the shelves stocked so no one starves for clarity again. This is what Microsoft did with file standards. What McDonald's did with fries. What great teams do with playbooks. Systems feed trust. Subdue. Subdue is not people control. It is environment control. Set the guardrails. Define naming conventions. Acceptance criteria. Service levels. Create a simple intake form so chaos bows at the door. Establish a weekly rhythm review on Monday. Shift on Wednesday. Retro on Friday. Subdue means the room begins to think your way because your way reduces pain. Write this. Standards are mercy in disguise. Have dominion. Dominion is not domination. It is default. When a problem shows up, the organization reaches for your system by reflex. That's when you become the reference point, the go-to, without campaigning, without a crown. This is what Burger King did with the Whopper identity through a repeatable difference. What's your go-to in this team? Your repeated fruit defines it. Now map it daily. Today, produce 1 concrete artifact. Tomorrow, convert it into a template. Next, share it and teach it replenish. Then, set 2 guardrails. Subdue. Finally, become the reference point dominion. Do this for 4 weeks and watch your inbox change. Influence will invite you. You won't need to knock. Say it with conviction. I move from fruit to dominion in my domain. Say it again. And again, until your calendar obeys your confession, consistent fruitfulness, not position, builds dominion at work. Now let's go deeper into the engine. Seed to fruit. Purpose defines the field, but seed determines the tree. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself. Genesis 1:11. Your future is already hidden in your present seed. Write this down. The seed is the idea you can't shake, the problem that irritates you, and the skill that feels effortless when others sweat. If it keeps visiting you at stoplights, if it frustrates you when nobody fixes it, if people keep saying, how did you do that so fast? That's your seed. Say it. I know my seed. Now, seeds do not feed meetings. The world doesn't eat seeds, produce something. Write that down. Fruit is seed developed into something edible. In business rooms, edible looks like prototypes, one-pages, dashboards, checklists, markups, artifacts we can consume in 5 minutes that remove confusion or create a decision. Opinion is cheap. Artifacts are costly and credible. By their fruits ye shall know them, Jesus said. Not by their ambitions, by their artifacts. Career safe move. Bring fruit, not opinions. When you walk into the meeting, don't announce what you feel. Unveil what you built. A one-page decision brief with 3 options and a recommendation. A before and after markup that lets us see the future. A dashboard that highlights the leak and the lever. A checklist that prevents the mistake that keeps burning hours. Let value speak before your voice elevates. Proverbs 18:16. A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. Your gift becomes room making when it is edible. Deploy yourself. Stop waiting for permission to produce. Joseph did not wait for a title to interpret. He produced insight, and the throne came looking for him. Genesis 41. James said, show me thy faith without thy works, and I will shew thee my faith by my works. James 2:18. Faith produces fruit first. Promotions chase later. Build a draft on your own time. Name the file. Place it in the shared drive and put a link in the agenda notes. Quiet fruit shakes loud rooms. Here is a field exercise. Identify the nagging irritation you keep complaining about. Convert the complaint into a consumable, a 5-step checklist, a prototype email template, a 3-metric scorecard. Attach a 1-paragraph how to use this and a date to pilot. Give it to 5 people free. Ask for 10 minutes to walk the room through it. John 15:8 says, herein is my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit, so shall ye be my disciples. Fruit validates disciples. Fruit validates leaders. Say this out loud. The world doesn't eat seeds. I will produce something. Again, one more time. Your influence is not waiting in HR. It is waiting in your draft folder. Purpose is the root. Seed is the promise. Fruit is the proof. And influence is the echo of proof. Your influence grows the moment you place consumable value on the table. Sight will tell you how things are. Vision will tell you how things will be. Write that down. Sight reports the present. Vision reveals potential. Sight sees the budget. Vision sees the business. Sight reads the minutes. Vision writes the future. The greatest enemy of your vision is your eyes. Your eyes will testify of constraints, of head count, of last quarter's miss, and if you let them, they will silence your tomorrow. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. 2 Corinthians 4:18. Influencers choose vision over visibility and steer the room toward the future. Say that. The org chart is sight. Your purpose is vision. The chart shows boxes and lines, who reports to whom. It does not show what God planted in you to build at 9 a.m. Tell your neighbor, my box is not my borders. Where there is no vision, the people perish. Proverbs 29:18. They cast off restraint. They drift into gossip and compliance. But where there is vision, there is discipline, there is hope, there is movement. The person with vision rearranges a table without touching a chair. Are you hearing me? Stop asking the chart for permission to see. Purpose is your permission. Here's a technique, practical, simple, powerful. Start the meeting with a 3-0, second future snapshot. Write this down. Date, outcome, evidence, next step. Stand up and say, it is September 30th. Customer churn is down from 12% to 7%. Our support backlog is under 24 hours. 3 clients sent unsolicited notes saying, your clarity saved us. We got here because we standardized the intake, killed the duplicate approvals, and shipped weekly. Today, we decide to adopt the template across the region and schedule the pilot by Friday. That's it, 30 seconds. Set the horizon before you touch the agenda. Vision first, then visibility. Do it when you have a title and when you don't. Vision organizes people. Sight only observes them. Expect resistance. Vision will make you look strange until it succeeds. Noah looked crazy until it rained. Joseph sounded arrogant until the famine came, Genesis 41. Nehemiah seemed naive until the wall stood, Nehemiah 6. Faith speaks in future tense and then works in present tense. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, Hebrews 11:1. Your eyes will say, there's no budget. Your vision will say, there's a blueprint. Your eyes will say, no one listens to analysts. Your vision will say, fruit will force the invitation. Don't let current constraints silence your future. Speak it, then build the pilot that points to it. Say this out loud. I choose vision over visibility. Again, I steer rooms by seeing farther. One more time. My box is not my borders. This week, every meeting you touch begins with a 3-0 second future snapshot. Paint the picture. Then place the next brick. When the eyes around the table argue for limits, let your vision argue for legacy. And watch the room lean forward, because people don't follow titles, they follow a future they can taste. Vision has set the horizon. Now mastery builds the road. Dominion equals domain mastery. Write that down. You don't dominate people, you master a problem space. Be fruitful. Multiply, replenish, subdue, have dominion. Genesis 1:28. Dominion is the result of a mastered domain. So pick the niche where you will be first in mind, the lane where your name is the reflex. When the meeting hits this issue, they should reach for you like a trusted tool. Ask the clarifying question, what's your whopper at work? Not I do everything, but this is the signature value I serve like no one else. Burger King didn't win by burgers, but by a Whopper identity through a repeatable difference. Tiger rises early, mastering his domain. You were born to master something. Focus your difference until it becomes reflex. Focus beats breath. Choose 1 or 2 problems to own relentlessly. If your name is a paragraph, you are fog. Make it a sentence. Seest thou a man diligent in his business, he shall stand before kings. Proverbs 22:29. The servant who multiplied a few talents was made ruler over many. Matthew 25:21. Decide, I own churn reduction or I own pre-commit risk clarity. Own it until excellence introduces you. Rituals birth reputation. Discipline turns talent into trust. Establish rituals of mastery. Pre-meeting briefs. 24 hours before, send a 2-paragraph goal, options, evidence, recommendation. Weekly, 30-minute deep dives. Office hours to unpack principles and practice. Invite 5. Repeatable tools. Every insight becomes a name template, checklist, or dashboard with a 5-minute walkthrough. Track outcomes in a simple log. Excellence is a ritual calendar. Tool your territory. Build calculators that forecast, checklists that prevent, canvases that design. Name them so they travel. The churn ladder, the decision brief, 5x5, the intake gate. Version them so people trust the evolution. Teach them so others can use them without you. Be fruitful, build it, multiply, temper it, replenish, circulate it, subdue, standardize it. Dominion become the default. Now socialize your lane humbly, clearly. Clarity is not arrogance, it is service. Put 1 sentence under your email name. I help this team cut churn via 3 levers. Pin your playbook in the team channel. Open route the right problem slots. In meetings, self-identify. This is in my lane. Here's the artifact. Also say, that's outside my lane. I'll find the owner. Humility sets boundaries and directs traffic to value. Say it out loud. I define my micro domain. Again, I make it unmistakable. My work has a whopper. By next Monday, write your lane in one sentence. Ship one name tool. Schedule one deep dive. And tell 3 peers, send these problems to me. Watch what happens. Soon the market, your team will say your name before your title. And that is dominion. You've defined your lane and tooled your territory. Now let's move the room in real time. Write this down. 309060. 30 seconds to anchor purpose. 90 seconds to put fruit on the table. 60 seconds to multiply the room. Purpose plus tangible value plus replication equals real-time influence. Say it. Clarity beats politics. Write the vision and make it plain. Habakkuk 2:2. When you anchor the why and the when, arguments lose oxygen. Move one purpose anchor. Stand up or lean in and give the room a sentence that marries mission to measurable. To serve our purpose of reducing churn by creating clarity, here's the outcome we need by Friday. Agree on one intake standard and pilot it with 3 accounts. That's it, 30 seconds. Date it, state it, tie it to purpose. No speeches, no blame, just target and time. Where there is no vision, the people perish, Proverbs 29:18. But where there is purpose stated plainly, politics evaporate. Write this down. I anchor the meeting to meaning. Move 2, put fruit on the table, 90 seconds. Not opinions, artifacts. Slide a 1-pager, a prototype, or a data cut across the table and say, here's version 0.1, taste this. Show the before and after markup. 3 options with trade-offs. A small chart exposing the leak and the lever. Use your named tools. This is the intake gate. V015 fields, 2 rules, 1 route. Point to evidence, not ego. By their fruits ye shall know them. Matthew 7:20. Your fruit will hush the noise. Proverbs 18:16 says, a man's gift maketh room for him. Your gift becomes room making when it's edible. Keep it tight. 90 seconds is a blessing long enough to feed, short enough to leave them hungry for action. Move 3, multiply the room. 60 seconds to turn fruit into a path. If Anna owns the template rollout and Ben tests the form on client Delta, we can deliver a 3-account pilot by Friday 3 p.m. I'll record a 4-minute walkthrough and post a checklist. Assign names, define a pilot, set a deadline. That's Genesis 1:28 at 9 a.m. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish. Multiplication is leadership without a title because it creates movement without permission. Subdue the chaos with simple steps. Build dominion through defaults. Now put them together. 30 anchor purpose, 90 present fruit, 60 multiply momentum. Do this 3 times and the room will start timing itself to your cadence. Say it out loud. I anchor purpose, I present fruit, I multiply momentum. Again, one more time. Your seat may be junior, but your sequence is royal. Joseph had no badge, only clarity, fruit, and a plan. Then Pharaoh sent for him. Genesis 41. In your next meeting, lead with 309060. Purpose on the lips, fruit in the hand, path on the board. Influence will not be requested, it will be recognized. Your mouth is a thermostat. It sets the climate of the room. Write that down. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21. If 309060 is your cadence, then your words are the oxygen. Language either feeds trust or starves it. Choose inspiration to lead. Ephesians 4:29 says, let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace. Leaders minister grace in meetings. Manipulators harvest fear. Which are you? Say it out loud. I influence through inspiration, not manipulation. Here is the dictionary of leaders' purpose words. Serve, outcome, value, customer, team, win. Those 5 words lift the room. Circle them in your mind. Use them like tools. To serve our customer, the clearest outcome by Friday is 1 intake standard that increases value and secures a team win. Hear the lift? Greatness speaks the language of service. Jesus said, whosoever will be great among you, let him be your minister servant. Matthew 20:26. Service is not soft. It is the engine of authority. Now expose the 4 levers of manipulation. Fear, secrecy, name dropping, vague pressure. Fear sounds like if we don't do this, we're dead. Secrecy whispers. Don't tell them, just push it through. Name dropping flexes. The VP wants it. So stop asking questions. Vague pressure mumbles. Everyone is saying we should. Write this down. Those levers erode trust capital and mortgage tomorrow's cooperation. James likened the tongue to a rudder that turns ships. James 3-4. Manipulation turns the ship into rocks. Inspiration turns it into harbor. So speak like this. Ask catalytic questions that create oxygen. What serves the user best? What's the smallest test we can ship this week? What evidence would change our mind? Where is the value leak and what is the simplest plug? These questions shepherd the room back to purpose. Outcome, value, customer, team, win. Colossians 4:6. Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt. Questions season the conversation. They preserve it from decay. When you disagree, frame it in purpose, not pride. To protect customer trust, we should choose option B and run a 2-day pilot, or to secure the team win. Let's simplify the approval path to 2 signatures. That's not argument, that's alignment. Let your yea be yea and your nay, nay. Matthew 5:37. Clarity is integrity in public. Replace manipulative scripts with inspired scripts, not because leadership said so, but because the outcome is X, the path is Y, and the value to the customer is Z. Not hurry up, but. What is the smallest, safest experiment we can deliver by Wednesday to learn? Not don't share this yet, but post the draft. Sunlight improves it. Leaders make light. Manipulators make shadows. Practice this in your next 3, 09060. In the 30, anchor with purpose words. In the 90, let the artifact speak and ask one catalytic question. In the 60, assign a pilot framed by outcome and customer. Watch trust rise like a tide. Say it now 3 times. I influence through inspiration, not manipulation. Again, one more time. Your mouth is not a megaphone, it is a mandate. Feed trust, and the room will feed you authority. Let me show you 3 rooms that shifted when one person brought purpose, fruit, and a path to multiply. Real rooms. Write this down. Small fruit, big shift. Say it. First, the template maker. She was an analyst, no title, just talent and irritation. Purpose anchor. I exist here to stop repeat errors and multiply clarity. That's conviction in a sentence. Every week, she saw the same 5 mistakes eating hours. So she produced fruit, a 5-step checklist for intake, a 2-column decision brief, and a 1-page QA sweep, edible in 5 minutes. By their fruits ye shall know them. Matthew 7:20. Then she multiplied. Turned those into name templates. Intake gate V1. Decision 5x5. QA sweep recorded 4-minute walkthroughs and posted them in the team channel. Replenish. She pinned them. Trained 5 peers and scheduled office hours. Subdue. She set 2 guardrails, naming conventions, and a Wednesday shift rhythm. Genesis 1:28, be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, right at her desk. Dominion? 2 quarters later, new hires were told, use her intake gate, and directors asked, what does your decision 5x5 say? She became the default. No campaign. Fruit did the campaigning. Proverbs 18:16, her gift made room. Second, the 2 sellers, same country, same dirt roads. Sight said, no buyers, no one wears shoes. Vision said, all buyers, no one has shoes. Write this down. Data doesn't speak, purpose interprets. The first seller came home with a report. The second came home with a pilot. Purpose anchor. I exist here to dignify feet profitably. Fruit. He landed with 200 pairs, built a pop-up on market day, priced for reach, and collected testimonials and reorders. In 90 days, he returned with photographs, a 5-village map, and a simple distribution template. 3 local reps, 1 weekly restock, 1 ledger, multiply and replenish. Subdue. He proposed a standard sizes stocked, colors simplified, delivery every Friday. Dominion followed when the board said, fund his plan. while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. 2 Corinthians 4:18. Vision reframed data and one budget. Third, from hog to paradise in a meeting room, there was a weekly stand-up nicknamed The Hog, Mud, Mess, and Grunts. Language had cursed the culture. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21. One team lead reframed it. Purpose anchor. This is wins and workflows, 30 minutes to celebrate fruit and standardize how we work. Fruit, a 2-slide deck. Slide 1, 3 measurable wins. Slide 2, 1 workflow artifact we ship today. Multiply. Every presenter had to attach a name template to the notes. Replenish. All artifacts lived in a shared paradise playbook. Subdue. Rules, no blame, no rambling, and every win mapped to a workflow. In 4 weeks, the room's energy shifted. Lateness died. Requests spiked. Can I present our workflow next week? Dominion arrived when the VP dropped in and said, this is our model. Roll this format to the region. What changed first? The name, then the artifacts, then the norms. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, then dominion. Write that down. Here's the lesson. Say it out loud. Small, consistent fruit rebrands you before your title changes. Real rooms shift when one person brings purpose, fruit, and a path to multiply. Do it this week, and let Genesis 1:28 do the rest. Now hear me. Every true vision will be tested. Write that down. Time will test it. Critics will poke it. Constraints will squeeze it. The trial of your faith worketh patience. James 1:3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. Habakkuk 2:3. Don't misinterpret delay as denial. It's often quality control. God prunes fruitful branches so they bear more fruit. John 15:2. Rejection is not always a verdict. Many times it's a workshop. Say this out loud. Rejection refines fruit. When the room says, we tried that, don't fight them. Focus them. Anchor the purpose. Present fresher fruit and reduce the scope. To serve our customer and cut churn, here's version 0.2 simpler fields. Clearer rules. Then shrink the risk. Let's run a 1-week pilot with 3 accounts, 2 metrics, and a Friday retro. That turns a no into a not yet. Pilots make courage affordable. Write it down. Small experiments purchase big permission. Invite collaboration. Humility multiplies adoption. Ask whose input would sharpen. Version 0.2. Name people. Inclusion converts observers into owners. Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpeneth iron. Let their questions sand the edges of your tool. You're not protecting your ego, you're protecting the outcome. Whole conviction, flex method. The why is sacred, the how is clay. Paul said, I am made all things to all men, that I might by all means save some. 1 Corinthians 9:22. The message stays. The method adapts. Here's your resilience run sheet for the tough meeting. Step 1, purpose restatement. To secure the team win and serve the user, we aim to reduce intake errors by 30%. Step 2, fresh fruit in 90 seconds. This is intake gate V0, 2 down from 7 fields to 5. Added examples, removed, duplicate approvals. Step 3, pilot proposal in 60 seconds. 3 accounts, 5 days, 2 KPIs, first pass accuracy and cycle time. I'll post a 4-minute walkthrough. Ana and Ben call rollout. Retro Friday, 2 p.m. Step 4, open the circle. Whose input tightens this before we hit send? This is 30906, 0 under pressure. Purpose anchors. Fruit persuades. Pilot de-risks. Collaboration cements. And if the answer is still no, stay sweet and keep building. Be not weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Galatians 6-9. Archive the artifact, timestamp the insight, and watch for the window. Problems are patient. Excellence is persistent. When the pain peaks, the house will remember your shelf was stocked. Say this now. I guard the why. I iterate the how. Again, My no is a not yet when I pilot with purpose. One more time. Rejection refines my fruit. Patience multiplies my influence. Stay anchored in purpose and flexible in process. In the kingdom, pilots turn no's into not yets and not yets into dominion. Pilots earn permission. Systems preserve it. Write that down. Be fruitful. Multiply. Replenish. Subdue. Have dominion. This is not poetry. This is architecture. Genesis 1:28. You have produced fruit and run a pilot. We move to replenish the ability to make value appear again without you in the room. Replenish is where servant leaders scale without a title. Say it. I build what replenishes. Codify your fruit. The world doesn't eat seeds, and teams can't eat your genius if it lives in your head. Turn artifacts into templates, SOPs, and wikis. Name them, number them, and nest them in one home everyone can find. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain. Systems make it plain to others. A template is mercy for the busy. A checklist is compassion for the tired. A 5-minute walkthrough is love for the learner. When your fruit becomes a kit, value repeats. Distribute freely first. Lower friction. Let usefulness advertise you. Freely ye have received, freely give. Matthew 10:8. Post the link. Pin the playbook. Share the video. Invite questions. Give away version 1. Like samples at the supermarket taste convert skeptics faster than speeches. Joseph's wisdom fed nations because it was stored, measured, and distributed. Genesis 41. Replenish means your good is not rare. It is reachable. Now subdue with guardrails. Protect the win. 1 Corinthians 14:40. Let all things be done decently and in order. Set the quality bar. A clear definition of done. Establish version control. Dates, owners, and change notes on top of every file. Appoint stewards. Name who curates each artifact and when reviews happen. Declare a single source of truth. The one folder where living documents reside. Guardrails do not restrict excellence. They release it by removing confusion. Measure what matters because evidence sustains influence. Track speed, accuracy, and satisfaction. How long did it take? How many errors vanished? What did the customer feel? John 6:12. Gather up the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost. Collect the testimonies, the metrics, the before and afters. Build a dashboard that anyone can read at a glance. By their fruits ye shall know them. By your numbers they shall trust you. Money follows value. Value follows verified results. Dominion then is not control of people. It is stewardship of a problem spaced through systems. Luke 16:10. He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. Be faithful to the flow you built. When your system runs without you, your name rises without noise. Say this. I scale by serving. I lead by replenishing. My systems make me unavoidable. This week, codify one artifact. Open the playbook, set guardrails, and post the metrics. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, watch, dominion, quietly arrive. Now we seal it. Influence has been defined. The tools are on the table. The system is humming. Now you must step into public purpose. Say this out loud 3 times. I am necessary. Again, I am deployed. One more time. I lead by purpose, I produce fruit, and I multiply value. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. Jeremiah 1:5. You are not an accident at that desk. You are an assignment. We are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus unto good works. Ephesians 2:10. Write this down. If you don't deploy yourself, you'll be employed. Employment is good, but deployment is purpose in motion. Stop waiting for a title. Your fruit is your authority. Proverbs 18:16, a man's gift maketh room for him. Let your gift walk you into rooms your badge cannot open. Here is your next 7 days. Simple, specific, spiritual. Monday, write your 9-word purpose. Format, I exist to produce value. For who, by how. 9 words. Post it where you see it. Tuesday, choose your micro domain. What's your whopper at work? 1 sentence under your name. I own problem through 2 levers. Wednesday, build fruit V01. 1 edible artifact. A checklist. a decision brief, a micro dashboard. The world doesn't eat seeds. Produce something. Thursday, user test with one real user. 15 minutes, 3 questions. What worked? What confused you? What would make this effortless? Record the notes. Refine. Friday, share the template. Post a link. Pin the playbook. Record a 4-minute walkthrough. Invite one peer to co-own replication. Leaders create leaders. Multiplication is not solo. 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor. Ecclesiastes 4-9. Monday, book a 10-minute slot in a real meeting. Title it Purpose, Fruit, Pilot. Prepare your 309-060. Tuesday, execute the 3 moves. 30 seconds, purpose anchor. 90 seconds, put fruit on the table. 60 seconds, multiply the room with a pilot, names, and a deadline. Genesis 1:28, at work, be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, and watch dominion introduce you without fanfare. Say it, my fruit is my authority. Now lift your right hand, receive this commissioning. In the name of Jesus, I stir the seed God planted in you. May conviction ignite. Vision, clarify, passion, burn, inspiration, overflow, and influence follow you like a shadow. May your artifacts speak when your title is silent. May your systems replenish value when you are asleep. May your pilots convert no's into not yets and not yets into yes. Write the vision and make it plain. Habakkuk 2:2, plain in your templates, plain in your dashboards, plain in your speech. Declare it again. I am necessary. I am deployed. I lead by purpose. I produce fruit. I multiply value. This week I will be fruitful. Next I will multiply. Then I will replenish. I will subdue confusion. And I will quietly have dominion. Go now. Deploy yourself. Purpose in motion becomes leadership in public.